Welcome, friends, family, faculty, students, and alumni pharmacists, and particularly the very distinguished class of 2024. Today is the 20th annual White Coat celebration, one we hope to repeat in person before you head off to your respective APPEs. Class of 2024, welcome to the profession. The White Coat represents your transition from layperson to student pharmacist. It is that moment in time we become partners toward the goal of equitable, safe, effective, and cost-effective drug therapy for all the world's citizens. A principle I will rely upon throughout this ceremony is the unequivocal need for activism. To achieve the goal I described previously will unequivocally require pharmacist and student pharmacist activists. To start, I need to say a few things about your school, the one I have the privilege to serve. Whenever I speak to others about our school, I start with our core values. The school and the campus core values are deeply embedded in what we call PRIDE values. The P in PRIDE stands for professionalism, the R, respect, the I, integrity, the D, diversity. And as I think about our community, it's our differences that makes us strong and distinguished. We embrace differences in backgrounds, gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, lifestyles, and perspectives. And we're fortunate to be at a university and a school where diversity is a core value. The E in PRIDE stands for excellence, and the school's excellence is particularly evidenced by our world-class science. We were number one among all U.S. schools of pharmacy in NIH funding for the 41st consecutive year. Similar to the past several years, the school's total research funding equaled that of the next two schools combined. However, class of 2024, our drive to seek and apply new knowledge is not isolated to our research, but also our patient care and our PharmD education. With respect to patient care, our California Poison Control System, with its 900 calls per day, was created and is currently housed in the School of Pharmacy. The advancement of pharmacy to a more clinical discipline began over 50 years ago at UCSF on the 9th floor of Moffitt Hospital. And specific to today's COVID pandemic, your school led the way, providing novel COVID therapy to UCSF Health patients. It was a pharmacy student who delivered the very first COVID vaccination last year to the very first UCSF Health employee. However, this scientific way of thinking exhibited in our research and patient care models clearly extends into our professional curriculum. You, the class of 2024, can testify to this fact. I said to you in orientation, you are the most distinguished incoming PharmD students at the most distinguished school of pharmacy in the world. I mean that. Each of your stories is unique, demonstrating hard work and sacrifice, however, always with a good dose of that scientific way of thinking and activism. Admissions was competitive. You demonstrated your competitiveness, convincing us that you were different from anyone else in your class. You originate from multiple states. 11% were born outside the U.S. Your countries of origin are diverse: China, Egypt, Eritrea, Greece, Hong Kong, Iran, Italy, Jordan, South Korea, Lebanon, Nigeria, Philippines, Singapore, Syria, Thailand, the United States, and Vietnam. While many of you majored in the life sciences, others took different paths: animal science, anthropology, business administration, gender studies, humanities, neuroscience, nutrition, public health, and toxicology. You know quite well that your admission was based on much more than grades: leadership, outstanding communication skills, and critical thinking. You convinced us how you were unique among your 127 fellow students. You come from diverse backgrounds and life experiences, which has resulted in a passion and activism for serving others with care and compassion. Class of 2024, you are our partners in a bold new venture which sets a new standard for incorporating scientific thinking into learning. Pharmacy and healthcare is evolving rapidly, and the models of practice you will see in your professional lives are taking shape all around us. Please don't ever forget your clearly unique role as a pharmacist. Your vision should be to proactively ensure every single patient is receiving the safest, the most effective, the least costly medications. You will have the scientific knowledge and practice experience, distinguishing you as outstanding clinicians, scientists, academicians, world leaders. But will you be passive or will you be active? You are expected to ask questions, to question authority when things don't make sense. The questions why not are welcomed, encouraged, expected. You are expected to think critically to solve problems. You have already been exposed early and often to UCSF's groundbreaking research and new directions in clinical care as you develop an inquiry habit of mind. You are now aware of a new vocabulary, including foundations, inquiry, discovery project. All that said, let's remember that your curricular experience began with a patient. The decision to begin your curriculum with a patient interview, albeit virtual, was quite deliberate. Why start with a patient? Any critical thinking you might develop is worthless if you do not truly feel the responsibility for the patient, the need to advocate on behalf of that patient. For the students, please think back on Dr. Zhao during the interview. She felt that responsibility. The patient you virtually met taught you the importance of responsibility for her care. Please allow me to repeat, for this profession, your responsibility is ensuring each and every patient is receiving the safest, most effective, most cost-effective medication therapy. We recognize that your road to this moment has not been easy. You would not be here today if it were not for many, many supporters, family, friends, partners, many of whom have joined us for this celebration today. Class of 2024, you may be watching this celebration with the individuals who have helped you reach this juncture, or you may be watching separately. Whatever the case, in the days that follow, I encourage you to thank them, a call, a text, an email, for their part in helping you reach this milestone. It is my pleasure to introduce the president of the Pharmacy Alumni Association, Dr. Mahtab Jafari. Dr. Jafari is both a PharmD and resident alumna of UCSF. However, Dr. Jafari is an activist. She has always been an activist. She's been successful in a variety of roles, including the pharmaceutical industry and as a clinical professor at California School of Pharmacy. Today, she's a tenured professor of pharmaceutical sciences at the University of California, Irvine, and director of the UCI Center for Healthspan Sciences, in which she's developed a novel basic science model of aging. Dr. Jafari is responsible for the undergrad UCI pharmaceutical science pathway, which has served as a pipeline to pharmacy schools. At one point, UCI was the leading feeder to schools of pharmacy in the United States, and credit goes to Dr. Jafari. Author of a recently published book, The Truth About Dietary Supplements: An Evidence-Based Guide to a Safe Medicine Cabinet, she emphasizes the integrated, safe, and effective use of alternative therapies. Dr. Jafari epitomizes the activism needed in our profession. Dr. Jafari.
Hello, my name is Mahtab Jafari, and I'm the president of the UCSF School of Pharmacy Alumni Board of Governors. On behalf of our alumni board, I am very proud to welcome you, student pharmacists of the class of 2024, and your loved ones, family and friends, to the 2021 UCSF School of Pharmacy White Coat celebration. You are now officially part of a large family, the UCSF family, and you have chosen the best school to launch your career as future pharmacist. We loved contacting you and welcoming you this past summer. Please stay in touch with us. Stay in touch with the alumni board members and let us know how we can support you. We also have a gift for you. The alumni board has arranged for each of you to receive personalized business cards that you should be receiving very soon. I and all the members of the alumni board look forward to meeting you face to face very soon. For now, please stay in touch with us, and after you graduate, I hope you become actively involved with the alumni board so that we can continue supporting future pharmacy students. On behalf of the UCSF School of Pharmacy Alumni Association, once again, we wish you the best in your journey at UCSF and beyond, and we welcome you to the UCSF family.
Our keynote speaker this evening is Dr. Lisa Kroon. She earned her PharmD degree from the University of Michigan, completed residencies in pharmacy practice and hospital pharmacy administration at UCSF. She joined the faculty in 1996 and became a full professor with the Department of Clinical Pharmacy in 2008. She currently holds the Thomas A. Oliver Endowed Chair in Clinical Pharmacy. She is the chair of our Department of Clinical Pharmacy and plays an integral role at UCSF in the care of patients with diabetes, other chronic illnesses, tobacco dependence, and more recently, vaccination of our patients and staff at UCSF and beyond. She was a leader in supporting a ban on the sale of tobacco in San Francisco pharmacies, working with the mayor's office and the San Francisco Department of Public Health. She's the recipient of the 2019 California Society of Health Systems Pharmacists Pharmacist of the Year. She is consistently focused on expanding our scope of practice, working closely with the State Board of Pharmacy, California Schools of Pharmacy, CSHP, and CPHA. In other words, Dr. Kroon is an activist. Lisa, I look forward to your comments.
Thank you, Dean Guglielmo and the Office of Student and Curricular Affairs for inviting me to provide the faculty remarks at this year's White Coat ceremony. To the distinguished guests, family members, friends, faculty, alumni, and staff, and especially to our students, the class of 2024, it's an honor and privilege to share a few remarks at this very special ceremony where we honor the cloaking or robing with a fresh white coat, which I view as the robe to opportunity. You have all started on your road or journey of your pharmacy career. This is also a time of significant transitions for you, truly momentous transitions. Many of you have moved away from family and friends. Those of you who are more local, I suspect are seeing your loved ones less since starting pharmacy school. You all have arrived at UCSF with your unique road traveled to this point. You've started the Doctor of Pharmacy curriculum, a pass, no pass, condensed, 3-year, competency-based curriculum, which is likely a very new approach for you, where it's not about how many points on an exam that you get. Rather, it's about learning, applying material, critical thinking, problem solving, and achieving competency. And you're going to be doing all of this during a pandemic. I'd like to suggest that you think about this day moving forward as a journey, not just a professional journey, but also a personal one. Really thinking about your pharmacy education as an ongoing process as you embark on your pharmacy career. I ask you, the class of 2024, when does one become a pharmacist? Do you consider yourself a pharmacist today? As a student, I probably would have answered I became a pharmacist when I graduated or when I got licensed. Now, as a practicing and licensed pharmacist for over 2 decades, I would say it is really when you start pharmacy school. You will hear faculty use the term student pharmacist. You've probably heard that already, meaning you really can consider yourself a pharmacist even now. And during your introductory pharmacy practice experiences during your first year, you are involved in real-life pharmacy and patient care issues. So have the mindset that you are indeed a pharmacist in training. When I last spoke at our white coat ceremony, the Affordable Care Act had just passed, or Obamacare, and really with the intent for millions of Americans to obtain health insurance and gain access to health care to help reduce the gaps in care and health disparities. While some of this was achieved, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that significant gaps and disparities continue, and some have even worsened. As you set forth on your pharmacy journey and take the oath of the pharmacist today, please consider what your PharmD education and UCSF experiences will provide you so that you can make a difference in your community, to reduce gaps in care, and to promote health equity. I'll provide some examples of what we're doing here in the School of Pharmacy. This October, our students will be supporting a San Francisco Black Church Coalition to provide vaccinations every Sunday this fall to communities in need. And this will involve all healthcare professional students here at UCSF, pharmacy, nursing, dentistry, and medicine. One of our clinical faculty members, Crystal Zhao, has just launched a service at a San Francisco barbershop with a primarily Black clientele, providing COVID-19 vaccinations first. She actually just vaccinated the head barber last week. And in the future, she'll be providing blood pressure screening and care. I share this as an example of going to communities in need and showing up where people are and having a consistent presence. This is a very exciting time to be a pharmacist. There are many career paths that you can take, from health system roles, community pharmacy roles where we have expanded scope of practice, such as pharmacists being able to furnish naloxone, hormonal contraception, nicotine replacement therapies to help people stop smoking, federal level positions such as those at the FDA, Indian Health Services, NIH, and more education and research focused positions such as those in academia and industry. But I often see students feeling very pressured to know what you want to do after graduation, like you're supposed to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life at that point. So please try not to put this pressure on yourself. Your experiences during pharmacy school and your postgraduate experiences will help you decide. Have an open mind. You never know what experience or opportunity will come your way that can create that fork in the road of your journey. In addition to roles for pharmacists, we continue to push for expanded scope of practice across the nation and in California. Nationally, a federal bill was just reintroduced that will recognize the pharmacist as a provider so as to allow payment for patient care services by Medicare. In California, I'd like to share that I am actually part of a statewide advancing pharmacy practice working group that has drafted a new Pharmacy Modernization Act that will take a standard of care approach to pharmacy law instead of having to need to ask permission to perform certain functions. We are in the very preliminary stage of this effort, but it's very exciting. So hopefully you've already gotten a sense here that your UCSF pharmacy faculty push the envelope, don't settle for status quo, and strive for excellence, a mindset that we intend and hope for you all to have as well. So what comes with pharmacists being able to order tests, prescribe medications, is responsibility. Sometimes when I speak to students and practicing pharmacists, they say they want this type of expanded scope of practice, but they don't always realize that what comes with it is now taking responsibility for that patient's health care. You're not just providing a recommendation, you're the one actually implementing it. You are an integral part of the healthcare team. It's not the physician's responsibility to follow up, it's yours. So hopefully you embrace this responsibility, but also find it very rewarding. And not to worry, your training here and clinical experiences will prepare you very well for these responsibilities. Now, unfortunately, this pandemic is persisting, and we continue to be in a tumultuous time and a time of multiple changes at once. As I stated, we are in really a point of momentous transitions. And all of this can cause one to feel anxious, stressed, ill at ease, or worse, or maybe just off. Perhaps you've already experienced Zoom fog with all your classroom Zoom sessions. I encourage you to prioritize your health and wellness even while in school. We realize this can be challenging as a student, and this is why we've integrated wellness into the curriculum so you can practice these skills too. I also encourage you to reach out to each other, support each other, and stay connected. So you have entered an industry that is in constant state of change. Change is inevitable. We know that. And it can make us feel uncomfortable, in part because of the element of the unknown. It is our hope that your training and experiences at UCSF will help you handle states of change and to see them as opportunities. As a PharmD, your UCSF degree, for which the white coat or robe is a symbol at this point, provides you great opportunity. It certainly has for me. While I've been faculty at UCSF for 25 years, my job hasn't been the same, and I say job, but it really is a career. It is what I do. I have been most fortunate to have had amazing mentors, Marianne Cota-Kimball, our former dean, our current dean, Dean Guglielmo, and many others. Pharmacy was the best choice, and today I can say that the opportunities I have had as a faculty member here at UCSF are in part because of the PharmD degree and also the residency training that I received here. And these are things I wouldn't have imagined when I was a first-year pharmacy student. I hope by now you've heard of the UCSF Pride values, which are values that we hold in highest priority. P is for professionalism, R for respect, I for integrity, and E for excellence. As you reflect on taking the oath of the pharmacist today, please also think of how you will represent our Pride values while at school, personally, and throughout your pharmacy journey. To conclude, I encourage you, the class of 2024, to stretch, live out your comfort zone. Always think about what's possible, not what's not possible or what's wrong, but why not? Be bold, take risks, and embrace change. The faculty and staff are here to support and assist you through the many momentous transitions that you will experience during your time here at UCSF. You are all on your journey of being a pharmacist and part of the pharmacy profession and road to many opportunities. I hope you all see this moment as one of endless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. In years past, at this point in the celebration, members of the entering class would come forward to receive their coats from a select group of faculty and alumni. We almost pulled it off last August, but the Delta variant got in the way. Today, we will introduce you, class of 2024 students, and request, as your name is announced, please don your fresh, clean, wrinkle-free white coat. In the future, before you begin your APPEs, and for the rest of the audience, APPEs are the clinical rotations. The school's goal is to mark this accomplishment in person with a second white coat ceremony. Your coats may not be as fresh at that point since you will have completed many hours of IPPEs, those are introductory pharmacy practice experiences, yet I'm confident the coat you are putting on now will have even more meaning. It's now my pleasure to introduce Vice Dean Yeomans, who will present the class of 2024. A few words about Dr. Yeomans. A member of the class of 1985, she serves as Vice Dean of the School of Pharmacy and professor in the Department of Clinical Pharmacy. She also holds a master's in public health from San Jose State University. She joined the faculty in 2001 and served as Vice Chair for Education in the Department of Clinical Pharmacy from 2007 to 2013, when she then assumed the role of Vice Dean. She is focused on continuous improvement of pharmacy education and working collaboratively with other UCSF education programs. She is the architect, driving force, and visionary behind our new innovative curriculum. She is an activist. Prior to joining the faculty, she practiced in hospital and community pharmacy settings, expertise in pediatrics with a keen interest in public health and how pharmacists can provide health education and services in new and innovative ways. Her research interests include health literacy and health communication, including culturally sensitive communication strategies to enhance medication compliance. She is one of a few elite members of the Haile T. Tabas Academy of Medical Educators of the UCSF Center for Faculty Educators. Dr. Yeomans is a member of the Board of Directors of the Accreditation Council for Pharmacy Education, in which she represents the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. I could tell you much more about her, but for now, I add that she's a warm, generous, inspiring leader, mentor, and colleague. As she knows well, Dr. Yeomans is my boss for all things curricular and perhaps beyond. When Dr. Yeomans calls your name, please put on your white coat and take a picture. As a sign of the times, please consider sharing your photo on social media with the hashtag UCSFPharmD. Dr. Yeomans.
Zora Abdul. Kavya G. Achatuni. Darren Al-Fafara. George Al-Farhat. Janika Chelsea Garcia Omes. Ibe G. Anyabuike. Anika Azad. Wilson Lance Caleguas. Kylie N. Chan. Michelle Chan. Melvin Chang. Melissa Chi. Min Chen. Linda Chang. James Chen. Clever Chu. Sylvia Choi. Kathleen T. Dang. Rizel de la Cruz, Diana Doe, Ryan Doan, Ryan E. Dew, Ryan Ia, Noor Al-Bushawi, Ethan Espina, Reti Fuladi Chami, Marina God, Diana Lynn A. Garza, Juan Samuel Gil Reynoso, Sharon Gipp, Joanne Guan, Nicholas Gutierrez, Mark Guten, Samantha M. Guzman, Sana Hamid, Mateen Hassan, Dennis J. Houston, Helen D. Huen, Kumi Huen, Laura Wen, Michelle Huen, Rania H. Ibrahim, Aya Ede, Arbolina Jacob, Nishat Nabila Jahan, Mirna Kalajian, Warif Kastun, Noor Kadaj Malat, Reina Kalalia, Sana Khatib, Shari Kwok, Amelia Lau, Giovanni L. Laura, Albert Lee, Christy Lee, Matthew Lee, Rachel Tyen Lee, Pollyanna Leong, Selena Lee, Pachua Lore, Rachel Liu, Alina Luke, Marissa A. Lee, Stephanie D. Lee, Christina Mai, Lisbeth Martinez, Daisha Matthews, Sarah McKee, Elam Merabani, Sahar Miri, Alana Moises, Alexa Molina, Diala Mudawar, Danielle Munoz, Sarah Nakamoto, Cameron Nakamura, Martha J. Navarro, Allison Nguyen's, Triet Ngo, Cindy Zui Nguyen, David Nguyen, Isabel Nguyen, Michelle Nguyen, Phuc Wang Nguyen, Rebecca B. Nguyen, Vincent Nguyen, Mona Jane Ocampo, Trevor Joseph Leal Orit, Callan K. Oshita, Siyavash Panahi, Marshall Perfetti, Say M. Pham, Jonathan Ramos, Joshua Ramos, A.J. Roderos, Noriel Bima Fernandez Rosario, Amy T. Russell, Harpreet Kaur Sahota, Suman Salma, Samantha Schmidt, Slade Schneider, Roma Su, Sunny Severado, Joanna Su, Ryan Michael Su, Michaela Tayag, Lisette Tordera, Fiona Tran, Kevin T. Liam Tran, Mai V. Tran, Allison Samantha Sui, Asayana Vien Mani, Sarah Lei Vo, Jessica Vu, Sharice Watanabe, Anthony Wong, Christy Wong, Camilla Rubel, Isabel Zhao Wu, Xinying Lisa Wu, Wendy Shaw, Selena Ka Lam Shu, Angela Young, Finan Johannes, Zheryang Zhong, April Zhou, Ingrid Zhao, Janine Zhu.
It's a pleasure to introduce soon-to-be Dr. Temi Sefeso. Received her Bachelor of Science in Pharmacological Chemistry from the University of California, San Diego. Her internship during her School of Pharmacy has taken place at Walgreens Parnassus at UCSF and at the Community Behavioral Health Services for the San Francisco Department of Public Health. She has been consistently active as a volunteer with the Pharmacy Homeless Clinic. In these various roles, she has provided exquisite care to the underserved of our society with that same guiding goal of ensuring all patients receive the most equitable, safe, and effective medication therapy. However, important to today's message, Temi Sefeso is an activist. She spearheaded the formation of the Health Equity Curriculum Interns, a student group with faculty oversight that systematically reviewed curricular content to ensure they are presented with an anti-racist framework. Along with other student leaders, she was the impetus for the creation of the School of Pharmacy Anti-Racist Curriculum Task Force, one that has already identified both shortfalls as well as opportunities for the school. One of her professors said it well. Temi is already a phenomenal leader amongst her peers, and she is also seen as a leader with our faculty. Temi is an activist, a leader. Temi, I look forward to your words.
Hello and good evening, friends, family, faculty, alumni, and of course, the class of 2024. I'm extremely humbled and honored to be joining you all during such a momentous occasion in the start of your journeys in pharmacy. Just 2 years ago, I was sitting where all of you are in this very moment, and I'd love to take this opportunity to share with you what I wish I could have told myself when I was in your shoes. First and foremost, you deserve to be here. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't by chance. I say this not to reiterate some cliche, but because I understand firsthand the impact of imposter syndrome and feeling undeserving of the opportunities presented to you. But I can't stress this enough. Your countless hours of hard work and the unique individuality each of you possess is what got you to where you are today. If you ever doubt or question whether or not you belong, I encourage you to remind yourselves that this is where you're meant to be. Second, pharmacy school will challenge you in a way that none of your previous academic training has before. The pace is fast, the content is complex, and the number of unpronounceable brand name medications might seem never-ending. With all of that, however, comes an expansion of your clinical knowledge, unforgettable bonds with your peers and colleagues, and the opportunity to positively impact the health of your patients. Third, the white coats you now don are a symbol representing not only your commitment to serving others, but also a beacon of hope and healing. Wearing this white coat is an immense privilege, and it's vital that you use that privilege not to be a voice for the voiceless, but rather to aid in the dismantling and restructuring of systems that suppress people's voices. UCSF is a home of change makers, and each of you has the extraordinary potential to impact meaningful systemic change to the healthcare landscape. My most important tip for you all can best be captured through one of my favorite quotes that says, "I wonder how many beautiful skies we miss simply because we forget to look up." In other words, be present in every moment. Every patient interaction, every late night of studying, every sunny Saturday afternoon spent at Dolores Park. If the last year and a half has taught us anything, it's that time is precious. Throughout life, we're constantly asked the question, what do you want to do when you grow up? But instead, I implore you to shift gears and focus on answering the question, who do I want to be? And though they might sound the same, who do I want to be encompasses a deeper understanding of oneself. And through that understanding, you find your voice. Class of 2024, be present, be intentional, be compassionate, be you. Congratulations and welcome to the UCSF family.
Thank you, Temi. It is my pleasure to ask Dr. Lisa Kroon back again, who will lead the class of 2024 in the oath of a pharmacist.
I promise to devote myself
I promise to devote myself
to a lifetime of service to others
to a lifetime of service to others
through the profession of pharmacy.
through the profession of pharmacy.
In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity
I will consider the welfare of humanity
and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills
I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
to assure optimal outcomes for my patients.
To assure optimal outcomes for my patients.
I will respect and protect all personal and health information
all personal and health information
entrusted to me. I will accept the lifelong obligation to improve my professional knowledge and competence. I will hold myself and my colleagues
I will hold myself and my colleagues
to the highest principles
To the highest principles
of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate
I will embrace and advocate
changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values
my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values
to prepare the next generation of pharmacists.
to prepare the next generation of pharmacists.
I take these vows voluntarily
I take these vows voluntarily
with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted
of the responsibility with which I am entrusted
by the public. Congratulations.
Welcome, class of 2024, to the UCSF healthcare community. Today marks the beginning of your career as a member of the pharmacy profession. You are the most distinguished students to enter the most distinguished school of pharmacy in the world. With the coronavirus pandemic, a fiscal crisis, and enormous health inequity and disparity, we are at a crossroads for healthcare. For some, such a crossroads represents a barrier, a time of confusion, a time for concern. However, for this class of activists, one so distinguished by its academic excellence, critical thinking, ability to attack today's challenges, and exquisite service to society, this crossroads represents simply another welcomed opportunity. You are joining a profession and community in which you have a wealth of opportunity to make a difference in your own unique way. On behalf of the entire school, we are deeply honored to partner with you as we together continue to ask, why? Why not? However, always with the deep compassion, responsibility, and activism for our patients and our profession. Thank you for selecting us. We will conclude this evening's ceremony with a greeting card of sorts from the students, faculty, staff, and alumni who join me in congratulating and welcoming you, the class of 2024, to the profession.